Okay, everyone ready?
Yes.
Perfect. All right, so for our October thought-provoking takeaways, so I've got 2 in my list today. So the first one is, I don't know if you saw in one of the newsletters last week, the one that I told you all to kind of subscribe to, but it actually showcased the new TikTok Academy. So I've put a link in the actual Trello card. But it does look really cool actually, and I think it's something that we all should have a look through and see if we, just go for the actual academy course, because it said it develops expertise through education, enroll in the TikTok Academy, learn how to unleash your brand's creativity on TikTok, and then you can get started with it. So it says that whether you're learning the basics or honouring in a speciality, TikTok Academy is for anyone who wants to become a TikTok pro, close the books and enjoy a gamified educational adventure. So it looks pretty cool. I think you can still see my screen there. Yeah, so from junior to senior levels, our courses will help you create content that will reach your brand's target audience, optimize your campaigns for leveraging our unique product solutions, and learn how TikTok are keeping our community and platform safe. So I thought that's quite a good one for us all to have a look at and see if there's anything that we might have missed or what we might need to learn. But for a CPD point for the end of the year, I think that would be quite a good one. So that is my first takeaway. And then my other one actually came from this morning when I was on my walk. So I was listening to the Diary of a CEO podcast, as always. That's normally what I listen to most days. And he was interviewing, it's called Paul, but I can't remember his second name. You'll know him. It's like the he's on like first dates. I think he's on Married at First Sight. He's like the black guy that does all like the dating and like matchmaking advice. Like he's American.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he's on Celebs Go Dating as well.
Yes, he's on that. So
yeah, him. I know exactly who you mean.
Yeah, so he'd been interviewed, and it was really interesting because like the second half, he was saying basically his background is he used to be in investment banking before he went into matchmaking, and he was saying that when he left that, he put all his finances into creating like YouTube matchmaking videos. And this was back in 2009. This is like when obviously YouTube weren't a big thing. And at the time he said he was looking every week and he was only getting like 10 to 15 views each video each week. And he was like, but I'm just going to keep going, let's be consistent. And still in that period, he got a contact from Oprah Winfrey. And she was the one of 15 people that had started watching his YouTube video. And she was the one person that asked him to come on to a show with her to do like dating advice. And he was just basically saying that a lot of people always look at the quantity of people that might be looking or the quantity of people that might be following. And it's like, it's more the quality. So like if you've got the quality there, it just shows like a one quick win. It could be anyone out there for an opportunity. So that was really interesting. Then that's when Stephen started saying about there's something called like lagging metrics. So we do look at, very up-to-date KPIs all the time, like this is how many followers we've got, this is how many impressions, but it's like what we forget to acknowledge a lot of the time is like the lagging metrics. So he was saying that for the first 2 years of his podcast, he literally had the most stagnant growth. It's like, if you look at any graph, he was like this for 2 years. And it's like now it's absolutely shot through the roof. And it's like, that is a lagging metric to say all those times he still kept consistent, still kept the quality there. Didn't show automatically, but in that, a lagging effect, it actually came up. So I think it's quite a good point to make to our clients whenever we are seeing, quite stagnant metrics to say, well, what are they going to be, the more long-term lagging metrics that we might gain from that, and to try and keep that consistency there. So that was quite a good one. And I thought it's something that we can obviously introduce back into clients' mindsets as well.
That is really interesting.
It really interesting story.
It's true, isn't it, though? Because if it does suddenly peak as well, it's important that you've got that backlog of content for people to go back on. It's like blogs as well, isn't it? If your website suddenly shoots off, like if you've got a backlog of blogs, then there's less pressure on keeping up with demand.
And it was just saying you just basically need the patience, and it is that quality over quantity. So yeah, it was just a light bulb moment when I listened to that this morning. I was like, oh, that's really interesting. That's something we can actually push into, reporting to clients as well. And not always just to say we're getting, we're trying to get away with people being stagnant, but I think it's something that's quite important to make people realise a little bit more as well.
For sure.
So they were mine. on to Sasha. Do you want me to open this link?
Yeah, you can. This might be something that's more helpful to me as someone that's starting out than it would be to yourselves. But when I'm doing social media captions lately, I'm popping them into this, and it just reads it back to you in a voice, and it just makes sure it makes sure that it makes sense, basically, and that the spelling's there and how it should be.
I love that. That was something I actually learned at Martech quite early on. They always used to say, if you even like for longer form content like blogs.
Yeah, I've put a blog in it
because
as
when you naturally read something to approve it, you can still cast everything really. You read what you want to read.
Yeah.
It's really so they used to say, why don't you get it to read it back to you, and then you hear it from more of like a listening point of view. So it's just obviously the different kind of method there. So
yeah, and if you've been like writing blogs and then you're reading through it, the chances are that you've been in that piece of content for ages and you just need someone else to read it back to you.
Yeah.
I do that, Sasha, but there's actually a feature in Word that allows you to do it. It puts you all in one place. On the review tab, that it says read aloud, and then Word reads it to you, because I always like do it like that, and then blogs and such always get it read back to me. But 100% agree with you. It's so useful.
Like that. It's a good one. Alison?
For me, I've written a bit of an essay in here, but I know we're all subscribed to this, but I kind of
flagged it because basically in uni I had a module that was like the psychology of marketing, and this kind of basically sums everything up so nicely. I know that it's good, isn't it? And it's such a good module. But basically it was just kind of obviously I know when we're creating content we're always kind of thinking social proof and stuff like that, but I know obviously it's just something that I'm really trying to keep coming back to. Obviously, in the content we create, we're not just doing, buy X because we are talking about the benefits to the end user. But when you see it categorized into each of the sections on this, it really just gives you a better idea of how to do it creatively. So I've just kind of, when I've been creating any piece of content recently, just trying to really tap into one of these just to make sure that, we are talking about the benefits. We're not just,
doing very basic levels.
Yeah.
When I used to be at Martech, we used to use a email platform called Communicator when I was there, but it's rebranded now to something called Spotler. And every year they did an event where you could go along and they'd do loads of seminars in different areas. And they did quite a few on the psychology side with psychologists around email marketing and what people see. And I'm pretty sure I've still got the slides on a memory stick somewhere. So I'll try and find them and I'll share them because it were really interesting. It's they always said when you look at the email structure or layout, do it as an F, because naturally your eyes go first line across, you go down halfway, you look across again, then you come back down to the bottom. So it's you look like that. So it's trying to get most important information in that kind of F.
Yeah.
Alignment.
That's so true. And do you know when we do the social posts and we all kind of do it as a structure, but where it's hook and then the bullet points, and then call to action, I always think that's so satisfying, and that always matches the F.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I'll share that with you guys if I find it. I think I know where it is anyway, so I'll have a look back through. Sophie?
Yeah, so mine's, I've put the link in the Trello card, but it's just that Social Media Today have released 32 predictions for social media marketing in 2023. So it's worth obviously having a look at all of them anyway, but I thought I'll go through, see which ones are actually relevant to us, because a few of them refer to paid ads and things, which isn't quite so relevant. So I thought I'll just share one from each of the main 4 social platforms. Try and do them nice and speedy. So the first one I thought I looked at was Facebook. This won't really come as a surprise to any of us, but it said that we're going to see more content from pages and people that we don't follow on our feeds. So apparently Mark Zuckerberg he wants 40% of the content in your main Facebook feed to come from pages you don't follow. So it might be worth us looking into the algorithm a bit further, seeing how we can sort of manipulate it, see what determines what's seen on certain feeds, and go from there. Instagram, So it looks as though the same applies regarding content. Obviously, they're owned by the same people. And it's not surprising because I don't know about you guys, but my Instagram feed's been all over the shop for a while. Like, I barely ever see any content from like friends and family anymore. So that's not really surprising. But another one which I thought was slightly unusual was they're also predicting that we're likely to see new forms of content on the platform next year, which includes AR content, 3D posts, more NFT art, and GIFs generated from live photos. So I'm not sure if we want to sort of just look into those content types, work out what they even are so we know what to expect, if there's anything that we could try and do on our own pages as a bit of a test. I don't think they'll be introducing them in the same way that they've done like Reels. I'm assuming it's just they'll give you the option to upload those sorts of content moving forwards. But I guess we'll see. So I don't know what some of those even are. So it's definitely worth looking into. Twitter, obviously Twitter's all up in the air at the moment with the recent takeover, like, and the mask cullings and things like that. But they are predicting that the platform will soon look to charge business users a monthly fee to use the app by enticing them with improved analytics features and insights, which obviously could be a bit of a problem for us if that does go ahead, because then we either have to charge clients for the privilege of being a business account, or B, change our clients' accounts to a personal, but then we'll lose access to analytics data. So whether it actually goes ahead, I feel like he's one of those people that says things, doesn't follow through with them. So yeah, that's what they're predicting, but hopefully it doesn't actually go ahead, because I think that would be a bit of a shame, to be honest. And then the final one was just LinkedIn. So it looks as though the platform's jumping on the whole video bandwagon. So they've said that the platform is likely to add more advanced video tools in 2023 and build on its event features. And apparently that includes something called Zoom-like video meeting options. So I mean, that won't really affect how we create content too much, but it might offer us an alternative way to meet with clients or prospective.
I think that's so good
clients.
though for LinkedIn, because there's so many people that I meet at networking events. Then you connect through LinkedIn always, and you have to email each other to create a date in the diary, and it'd just be so much easier on LinkedIn. You just like, oh yeah, let's do it in an hour, and you can just video call in the app.
Definitely. So yeah, that could be a good one if that does actually go ahead. So it looks as though they're looking into anything, and I'm not surprised they're trying to expand the amount of video options. So yeah, that's one to watch out for. So yeah, that's my thought.
Awesome. Thank you very much.